This is if the Roman Empire came back in the modern world in, you guessed it, ages of conflict. So the Roman Empire would have the power of all the countries they inhabited, or as much land as they inhabited, whatever power they have. So first order of business would be probably just a... Oh, they also have Britannia. Let me real quick do that. But or they have half of Britannia, which is just that kingdom. First things first. Sadly, everyone in Europe's kind of cooked. There's no, alliances, because otherwise the Roman Empire would be cooked. So they practically would just sweep everybody in this area. Alliances could be formed though, and I feel like that Russia would be a little cautious, and because of that, I'm actually going to give back Finland their land, as they probably would actually be more or less best buddies now. Finland would just join an alliance with everyone else because they are horrified of the Roman Empire. And they would also add new ally, would be allied with Russia. The Roman Empire, now kind of blocked there, would probably try to move into Egypt and also wipe out Turkey and also wipe out Georgia and a lot of other countries. And also Saudi Arabia and thus the Middle East. And just the Middle East. Also taking out Iran. This way, India and Pakistan even would form an alliance as they want, and would also form, and they would also add ally. And at this rate, there's two alliances, and both have the goal of stopping these guys. Roman Empire would probably be able to move a little bit, but then everyone else would form an alliance, and that kind of ruins the theme, as the Roman Empire could solo one person, but can't solo everybody here. That's a pretty big alliance, as it contains everybody left in Africa. Also, Australia and New Zealand would join the pact, resulting in a lot of Oceania also joining the pact. Now with everybody here in the pact, some of Oceania too, the Roman Empire had only one way to, and will be able to expand into Afghanistan, also taking out that. It would probably be able to take out Kazakhstan. This rate, they'll declare war on Russia's alliance, because now it has enough power to do so. It would also take half of Greenland before Canada and the United States say stop, and they can't fight you. And the United States would also say if they don't do anything, they're going to join Russia, and at this rate, the Roman Empire, this rate though, they can't move in further as capitals captured, but China and India are also backing up Russia. This rate, the Roman Empire is weakened, which will have Dr. Congo's alliance all move in. Dr. Congo's alliance, everyone else will move in, and will sweep a lot of Africa and some of the Middle East from the Roman Empire's hands. But this way, the Roman Empire would be able to use bombs that aren't nukes. We don't allow nukes, otherwise I feel like we know what would have happened a while ago. But this rate, with the troops wouldn't be able to move further, though the Roman Empire would now have everyone opposing it. Nobody would like the Roman Empire at this rate, as they just did all this. That would be, and this would be a pretty big bummer. But so the only way they would expand was Oceania, which over like 10. Which after, this has already been like 20 years, by the way. But after another, let's say 5, they would be able to wipe out all of that alliance. And would then siege onto the next one. And India would, and everyone fearing a war would just leave India and Pakistan to die. Japan, though, would not be stubborn and will tell everybody, get your butts together and declare war! And and now everybody, pretty much, with everyone hating people, they would pretty much just at that rate decide, oh yeah, it's time to do that. All of Asia, or the rest of Asia, would join Japan into moving into there, freeing Australia, or just freeing Oceania in general. Gets to this part. The Roman Empire would focus a lot of their troops on the South American point, as this is like the only way they can expand currently. They have to hold a lot of troops back, but they are able to secure Mexico eventually. This rate, though, the United States and Canada would both use their troops and would conquer back a lot of this lost land. The Roman Empire, though, would also seize Greenland. But they would actually be able to siege all the rest of Russia, as the remaining part of Russia is not the highest point for their army, not the best area. But China would pull their forces out of the Japanese area and would also unite with Mongolia and would push back. North Korea and South Korea, seeing the bigger enemy, would also unite. And this is how it would pretty much form out until the Roman Empire decides that. Until the Roman Empire, with all the fronts, would try and wipe out one front. Taking back India from Japan, the rest of Asia, and the Chinese forces did aid a little bit along with a lot of the South American forces. That's why South America fell so easily. But this rate, it's just China, the US, and Canada left. Along with rebellion, I'll put that on. Free the Roman rebellion. And what Roman rebellion means is it's just people who want the back the world, and it would kind of consume a lot of the countries that it would just mainly consume around this area and this area. Rebellion would kind of consume this area and parts of this area and Greenland, which would be much, and maybe some of these parts. There are people there. But the Roman Empire would see that threat would not even stop the rebellion. They would crush Chinese forces. The rebellion would be able to make significant gains in this area, capturing this back, and then the rebellion would spark over here, capturing a lot of Roman Empire's power. The Roman Empire, now seizing China, would change the laws a little bit in that area to try and make people support them, and the Roman rebellion would be crushed over there. At this rate, though, the United States would go all out. They haven't done much war, so they have probably the most troops. The rebellion would also join them in Canada, and that would just turn into an alliance. That would then push into Greenland, taking Greenland, and then would push over here. The rebellion would also spark a lot more in more free areas. All of Europe would quickly just unite. America doesn't treat them very well. And at this rate, China would also rebel with more uprisings. That's kind of common in China. With everyone rebelling, the United States plus a lot of other rebellion would be able to take all the land back and would push the Roman Empire down to here. They just let them starve to death here. They take all this area, but then realize that what's the point taking Australia and New Zealand? Laser Kiwis and heck itself is over here, so that's how we're gonna leave it.